Hey, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Charlie, and this is Lindsay, and it's Thursday night. Thank you guys for joining us. We have a great show tonight, and the reason why we have this show because last weekend we were in Virginia at the Woodburger Festival, and somebody told us about a story, which I'll get into tonight, called Cracker's Neck, Virginia. It was named after two men. The last name was Cracker, and one of them was killed by a Bigfoot. I said, I never heard of that story. So anyway, that's what prompted us to come up with tonight's topic. So we're going to go over a few things first, and then Lindsay's going to say hi to everybody. The first thing I want to mention is our upcoming schedule because there's been some changes. So I'm going to share this real quick. So let me find it. I think it's right there. Share. So I need to make it larger. So let me do that.
That's what she said.
And then Z. All right. So here we go. We are right about, we just finished the Woodburger Festival. We had a great time. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we get into tonight. My book launch has been postponed. I'm going to blame it on Amazon. But hopefully, in the next couple weeks, I'll pick out an evening or Saturday sometime. It might end up being in December because we are booked every weekend. We have the Public Monster Festival coming up. I need to share that because I have a screenshot. It looks really good. So let me find it. It is, stop sharing that. If you've never been, you've got to go to the Public Monster Festival in Louisville. Every year they grow, they get larger, they add music, they add more guest speakers. So let me see if I can find it. I think I've got it on my screen here. They do really good, a nice job with their website too, by the way. So there's their website. It's the most fun you've ever had.com. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat. So make sure you check this out because it's next weekend. It's free, completely free. And yeah, I love their website. But look at all these speakers they got. Like before, the first year, I think I was the only speaker, year one. And they added all these speakers on here. A lot of them are paranormal celebrities. So this thing has turned into a multi-day event. Look at this, just tons of live music and
they're playing Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
and Poltergeist.
Right. They have movies. They have a big screen. Haunted train rides. A bus that goes to Waverly.
Oh, fun!
That would be fun to get on the bus and go to Waverly.
We've still not done Waverly. I want to do that.
They have a haunted trail. It is giant this year, giant. And there's our logo. Of course, we will be there. I'm not sure if Lindsay's going to make it or not. We'll have to see. Hopefully she will. And then Lindsay's been hard at work. She loves.
I'm always hard at work.
I know. Well, I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying you have been working on our merch, and you've got this. How come that's not? Stop share. Oh, there it goes. So she's come up with some great Halloween merchandise, which she made a new logo too. You can see it right there, which is kind of neat. But
it's the KBRO Halloween collection. It's really fun, and it's a spin-off on our official emblem. What is it? Emblem
logo.
Yeah. And there's 4 different designs, but I love them all. I was going to pick one and just run with one Halloween design for KBRO, but I just couldn't. I couldn't decide, so I threw them all in there.
Yeah, tons in here, tons. There's just so much in there. I'll post that in the chat too. If you guys want to look through it, it'll take you probably
Do the
hours.
full thing. It's the oh no, just do the Halloween.
Well,
collection.
they could go to it. I'll just put the whole deal in there. So there's that. Okay, so I'll stop that. And then I think that's it. All right, so that's all I wanted to mention. You want to say hi to everybody, Lindsay?
Yes, I do. Let's see who we've got in the chat. Thanks for showing up again, everybody. Even though I'm not sure who's here yet, I did have a sneaky peek, but it's good to see you all. And how are you all doing? Good. I hope you're here, and that's the main thing.
Judy, we have to say a little prayer for Judy. She had a little fall.
So Judy, yes. Judy
Cash. She fell. She's fine. We don't know if she broke anything. She wouldn't go to the doctor.
Don't slam her.
Well, I don't go to the doctor either. I hate it. But I mean, it wasn't bad enough to where she thinks she broke something, is what I'm trying to get at. But she was pretty bruised up.
Judy's one of our KBROs.
Yeah, so Judy and Greg.
Shout out to Judy and Greg. So let me start at the top because you're getting ahead of me.
Oh, I just
want to. You're going to confuse me.
Sorry.
So who have we got? Lane's here. Hey, Lane. Welcome back. Matt's here. Hi, Matt. How are you? Gary Lacey in the house. How are you, Gary? Thank you for showing up. Mary's here. Hey, Mary. Angela's here. Hello, Angela. M. Hayfort. Welcome. I'm sorry. MH. Debbie Hall is here. Greg. Hey, Greg. Jamie. Judy.
Ron Bowles.
Yeah.
And we have a great group to start out. And we have a great topic. Do Bigfoots attack? And before we get into this, I tell everybody at all my presentations that in 3 decades of research in Kentucky, 788 witnesses that I've interviewed, some very close encounters, I don't have one encounter of a Bigfoot hurting a person. Doesn't say they don't. They could. On a bad day, they have different temperaments. You could catch one at the wrong time. But generally speaking, I think they've learned not to attack us. And maybe it's because of these stories we're going to go over tonight. They're kind of folklore type stories of Bigfoots attacking and even killing people. So we're going to get into this, and maybe that's why they don't attack anymore, because they have killed some people, and we have shot and killed them, or shot at them, or I don't know if we killed them. They usually run off, but there's lots of stories of these confrontations. So now we're at a point we don't have as many confrontations. The last couple decades, there really hasn't been any serious attacks. You all right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just noticed Lindsay went over there. Sorry, Lindsay had. She just had a rough night. Her one of her good friends in Canada passed away tonight, and I didn't know this, but in Canada they do medically assisted. I hate to say suicide, but they do medically assisted. What's the right word?
Maid. They just call it maid.
Mate.
Maid.
In Canada, they allow medically assisted suicide or such when people are terminally ill, and her friend chose to do that tonight. So prayers are with her and her family. Joanne, her name is Joanne. So say a prayer for Joanne. Say a prayer for Judy, because Judy fell, like I mentioned, and Judy's getting better. So lots of prayers all around. Life is short and sometimes tragic. So appreciate all the little things. Okay, so back to our stories. I'm going to share the story that I heard this weekend in Norton, Virginia. And I always take these stories with a grain of salt because, they're folklore. They've been told over and over again by different people, and some people embellish the stories so you don't know what's real and what's not. This story is called Cracker's Neck uh, Bigfoot killing, if you want to call it that. And it happened in the 1800s. And two trappers from North Carolina went to it's Big Stone Gap in Virginia, and they would hunt for a long time there. They would actually build a cabin a lot of times, and the cabins were very crude. The doors didn't lock. Again, early 1800s. It's very, very, very remote. No neighbors, and they would trap for pelts and sell the pelts, and so they would hunt and trap. And anyway, these guys were longbow hunters. If I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. Long hunters. The term is long hunters. They use muskets. And they were there hunting. And one day they come back to their cabin and something ransacked their cabin. It tore a lot of the animal pelts down. It tore up their food, the furniture, just ransacked their cabin. And they were concerned now because maybe they thought it was a bear or a person. They don't know what did it. So they decided, it was a father and son, that they would take turns staying at the cabin, and the other one would go out and hunt and trap. So on one occasion, the son comes home, and his dad was excited. He had heard something running around the cabin, yelling like no other animal. He said, I was unrecognizable, doesn't know what it was. He kept trying to catch a glimpse of it, can never see what it was. But they were excited because this is a big animal. So they stayed there for a while, both of them, and they could never catch a glimpse of this creature, whatever it was. So they went back to their routine of one of them staying, one of them leaving. So on this particular day, the dad was home. Again, the son comes back. And as he approaches the cabin, he sees a giant, hairy man, which we all know as Bigfoot, running from the cabin with something under its arm. And then the son realizes it was his father's head under its arm. So the kid runs up, shoots the Bigfoot, kills the Bigfoot. Bigfoot falls over. Kid's in disbelief, seeing his dad's head under its arm. Then he sees one of his dad's legs laying there on the ground. So the Bigfoot dismembered his father. I know it's a horrific story if it's true. We don't know if it's true. People tell these tales, and they can make them scary and they can add more things to this. But this is what I've researched and heard from some storytellers, that his dad was dismembered. The son, which is kind of odd. So here's a couple odd things about the story real quick. The son had come back from squirrel hunting. So he had a bunch of squirrels with him. He shot the Bigfoot and killed the Bigfoot with his musket, or what he used to kill squirrels with. How can you kill a Bigfoot? And it was big. They described it as typical, over 8 foot, massive. How could he have killed the Bigfoot? So that is kind of fishy right there, but maybe he did. Then the story's kind of fishy. He buries the Bigfoot. Why would you take time to bury the Bigfoot? Your dad just died. I think you would bury your dad maybe, or you would gather your things and leave, which he did, never to return. He went back to North Carolina. Supposedly the Bigfoot was dug up, the story goes. I don't know how soon after, but the Bigfoot was dug up, like something came and dug up the Bigfoot. We don't know if it was the family of the Bigfoot or what. So that's the story. It's kind of shocking, and there's another story which Lindsay's going to talk about in a second here. She's got it ready. You all know about Teddy Roosevelt, his story. So Lindsay's going to talk about that. I'm aware of it, but it made me think of the trappers in that story where the guy had his neck broken. Same kind of situation. These Bigfoots are killing trappers that are killing Bigfoot's food. There's a competition there. So maybe there's some truth to the stories
Maybe
of,
they are
of
territorial.
these confrontations. So you want to talk about Teddy Roosevelt's story?
I will. I'll get to that. I'm interested though if any of you guys know of any other stories where Bigfoot has attacked and somebody's either been injured or, I guess murdered, killed by Bigfoot, because there aren't many. I did some research and I pulled 2 or 3 more reports, but there's very little to go on. And I think, in all honesty, that's probably a good thing, because these are obviously more kind of peaceful beings. So Ron simply put, like all things of the wild, respect and treat with extreme caution. Yeah, well said. And Brother Littlefoot, hello. So elk have really thick breastplates, which require a large bullet coming from a powerful gun. Does a musket fit that bill?
Yeah, see, that's a good question, because I've always wondered about Daniel Boone killing the Yahoo. And then I realized one of the stories that I read, that was from one of his memoirs, when he shot the Bigfoot, it hit it in the eye, which is a weak spot to the brain. So I guess a musket ball in a large Bigfoot eye, if it went through the eye, that's a weak spot. There's no bone. It would go right into the brain basically and kill the Bigfoot, but you'd have to hit it in the eye. The interesting thing, Brother Littlefoot, if you listen to the Daniel Boone story, when Daniel Boone killed that Bigfoot, he took his tomahawk, went up, and he opened up the breastplate to get the musket balls back that his son had shot the Bigfoot. And when he opened up the chest, it was one solid sheet of bone. It didn't have ribs like we do. It was a solid breastplate. So we wonder, do Bigfoots have that? Do they have a solid breastplate? Because you hear stories of people shooting them and then running away. So maybe they adapted this,
So rather than ribs, like a rib cage, the ribs would be
fused together. And I think Brent Sipley told me this. I don't know if it's him. Somebody did. If they have injuries, a lot of times I guess the ribs will join together and form one big sheet of bone. So who knows? Maybe from years of being shot at or stuck with spears way back, they developed this sheet of bone.
Right. I guess it's possible. If anybody with any medical background is in the house and they're able to share in that respect, that would be interesting. Kimball Palmer, certainly they are powerful enough to injure a human if they wanted to. Right. Yeah, indeed. And I think, did we just do this one? The bones are definitely thicker than ours. Like any large animal. Thank you for responding. You're welcome, brother. Thanks for being here. All right. So, guys, have a think about it and let us know if you can think of any reports out there, and we can raise them, or at least
you're going to talk about.
Find them. I'm going to move on to
the Teddy Roosevelt story, which a lot of you know about, but Lindsay dug up some more info, and she's going to.
It's a lot. It's a paragraph. It's a couple of paragraphs out of his book that I'm going to just go over. I'm going to speed read it as quick as I can because it's fascinating, but it's also written in his words, and I sometimes struggle with that. So if I stall a little bit, that's why. Did you go over where people can find that Crackerneck story?
You have to Google it. It's a few places.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. It's on TikTok. It's some author. What's his name?
Hi, Frank.
Shoot, I can't think of his name. He's now a journalist in Tennessee, but he wrote about the Cracker Neck. There's a book too. I think if you go on Amazon, there's a book that somewhere they include the Cracker Neck. They named the little town, I guess, Cracker Neck after the two crackers.
Yeah, but I'd never heard of it until this past weekend when that story got brought up.
The other thing is, quick before you go into the other interesting thing, this weekend we got to watch The Legend of Boggy Creek on the big screen in an old movie theater, wasn't it? It was like
It was very authentic. Yeah.
one screen movie theater, had brick walls. It even had on both sides fire hoses that had come down both sides and were wrapped up, which I thought was strange. Like, why do they have fire hoses in the movie theater? I guess they didn't have sprinkler systems back then. But it was an old movie theater. We got to watch The Legend of Boggy Creek. And as you know, when you watch that movie, and it's a docudrama, but it's based on a true story, Mr. Ford was attacked by a Bigfoot, and he was sent to the hospital in The Legend of Boggy Creek. But before he was attacked by that Bigfoot and hurt, they were shooting at the Bigfoots. You remember early on, they shot the Bigfoot many times, or some of the Bigfoots were shot at many times, hitting the Bigfoots. So the Bigfoots were not happy in that area, and then they started attacking that family and hurting Mr. Ford there in that story. So again, I think they were provoked. You know, if you're shooting them, if you're taking their food, you know, there could be an issue. So.
All right, I'm going to read this story. So stay with me, guys. It's not super long, but it's like a page and a bit, but it's fascinating. I hope I'm loud enough. Charlie's always telling me to speak.
I'll scoot over.
Let me try and get up to the
You take the stage.
Camera.
All right, here, get up here.
And hopefully I don't stall. It's a rough night. So the Bowman story from The Wilderness Hunter by Theodore Roosevelt. And I'm going to read it verbatim, word for word from his book. So once I listened to a goblin story which rather impressed me. It was told by a grizzled, weathered, beaten old mountain hunter named Bowman, who was born and had passed all his life on the frontier. He must have believed what he said, for he could hardly repress a shudder at certain points of the tale. But he was of German ancestry, and in childhood had doubtless been saturated with all kinds of ghosts and goblin lore, so that many fearsome superstitions were latent in his mind. Besides, he knew well the stories told by the Indian medicine man in their winter camps, of the snow walkers and the spectres and the formless evil beings that haunt the forest depths, and dog and waylay the lonely wanderer, who after nightfall passes through the regions where they lurk. And it may be that when overcome by the horror of their fate that befell his friend, and when oppressed by the awful dead of the unknown, he grew to attribute both at the time and still before he in remembrance. You're freaking me out. Weird and elfin traits to what was merely some abnormally wicked and cunning wild beast. But whether his was so or not, no man can say. I found that really hard to read, so I know it came out really
I didn't understand a word you said.
I know, it's very difficult, really long sentences and lots of weird stuff in there. But when the event occurred, Bowman was still a young man. It does get better.
So here's the good part.
Okay, so when the event occurred, Bowman was still a young man and was trapping with a partner among the mountains, dividing the forks of the salmon from the head of the Wisdom River. Not having had much luck, he and his partner determined to go up to the particularly wild and lonely pass through which ran a small stream said to contain many beaver. The pass had an evil reputation because the year before a solitary hunter had wandered off into the slain seemingly by the wild beast, the half-eaten remains being afterwards found by some mining prospectors who had passed his camp only on the night before. However, the two trappers, after having an uneventful trip, made their camp in a little glade at the bottom of the pass. where there was plenty of grass and a few dead pines. At first, they were very successful. Early one evening, they returned to camp after an unusually hard day's work to find their lean-to demolished, the contents of the pack scattered right and left. While the ground was marked up and demolished, the contents of the pack scattered, while the ground was marked up by footprints of some animal. Bowman's companion, after examining the tracks more closely, straightened up and remarked, "Bowman, that bear has been walking on 2 legs." Bowman laughed at this, but admitted there was something queer about the footprints, for they were far too large for those of a bear, and were such as would have been made by a great man's feet, bare, with toes distinctly visible. That night they were awakened by noises and saw a vague, shadowy figure in the distance from the lean-to. It moved off into the forest after Bowman fired his gun. The next day, they again returned to find their camp destroyed and strange footprints about. The following night, something came stealthily about the camp, and when Bowman fired at it, the thing fled, breaking down branches as it ran. In the morning, the trappers decided they must leave. Bowman went off alone to bring in some traps from the head of the pass where they had been set up. Returning to camp in the afternoon, he found his comrade dead. The body was still warm, but the neck was broken, while there were 4 great fang marks on the throat. The footprints of the unknown creature were around and about, showing that it had apparently waited for his comrade to come back, then broke his neck by throwing him down, and had not had time to feast upon the body. Bowman, utterly unnerved, left everything as it was and fled through the pass down to the mountain until far from the haunts of the unknown beast that haunted the lonely camp. I don't know when that was written, but it's a mouthful, and the sentences are awful. But they definitely didn't have any chat GPT to help them.
No. Yeah, so everybody knows that story, basically.
I didn't. That's the first time I read it, actually, tonight.
Yeah, I knew about it. And but there's another one that you brought up, which I forgot about, in Alaska.
Yes.
That one, Portlock, where the villagers went there to, catch fish. It was a fishery where they catch the fish and they can them. So they went there, established this little town, and then. Do you want to talk about it, or you want me to?
Portlock. Well, I only made some brief notes, but that's a big story. I'm sure everybody here must have heard something about it because it cleared the entire town. In fact, it became a ghost town, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Nobody lives. I don't know if they've started moving back in there.
Well, the interesting thing, that's been on some documentaries is the people went missing, and they find them coming down the stream, dismembered, and. Not only were they dismembered, there were no claw marks or teeth marks. So something ripped their limbs off of some of these town folk. And of course, they were concerned and they left the area. And I think they had sightings too of some Bigfoot as well while they were there.
I mean, modern day history puts it down to folklore, and there's really from what I could find, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I couldn't find any contemporary records. So, like any thorough evidence, it's all kind of stories that have been passed along. So I don't know. I tend to believe that one did happen. But there is some suggestion as well that the town actually became a ghost town because of economic decline. But I don't know. These stories came from somewhere, didn't they? And it wasn't just one body. It was many bodies, mutilated bodies showing up over a longer period of time too. And there's lots of stories of that out there. So
James was talking about, he looked up articles, found some of attacks.
In my nights of looking up articles from earlier decades, I found several widely reported such incidents with attacks upon people, some very compelling and in great detail. They covered decades and were in various US states, maybe more on West Coast, but also in
Pennsylvania,
I was
New
going to
York.
say Pasadena, and New York State.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So here's the thing. What's tricky about this? There's a lot of stories out there, but then when you go to follow up on them, there's no medical records. There are no death certificates.
But that's the thing. It's so easy to wipe the history books, isn't it?
Well, it's easy for the government to cover things up, number one. So that could be what's going on. That's why you don't find medical records or death certificates or police reports. I know in Kentucky, the Beast of LBL, there's no medical records. There are no police reports. There are no death certificates. And so the government could cover that up easily. Or maybe these stories are just made up for people who want to sell books, sell movies.
I don't know. I mean, it's very common in the police, especially to steal records. That happens all the time in the courts. Like even on homicides, there's so much information that never gets made public. So something, such as a 8-foot beast running around the woods dismembering people, and then they're never going to let that get out. So they're going to cover it up any way that they can. So I'm not surprised it's hard to find stuff.
This is a good example Matt brought up about Jimmy Cox. As you guys might have heard, and he's on our YouTube channel, Jimmy was bow hunting in Kentucky and came face to face with a large Bigfoot, and the Bigfoot politely escorted him back to his truck. Did not hurt Jimmy. It could have killed Jimmy. That's one of many, many cases I've documented where the Bigfoots scare off the human, sometimes bluff charge, push trees, throw rocks to get you to leave, and it works. I've got no documented cases in 30 years in Kentucky of them hurting a person. Not to say there hasn't been, maybe there are some cases, but I've never documented those. But I have many, many cases like Jimmy Cox that are very close encounters, and the Bigfoot does not hurt the person. And my only reasoning is because of these old reports, maybe, of us shooting them and confrontations with them. Ape Canyon, the whole story about Ape Canyon, where they attacked the cabin because they were out there logging or they mining. I can't remember, logging or mining. But the Bigfoots get territorial. They don't like us there taking their resources, taking their food. And then if we shoot at them, of course they're going to get mad. So they had a lot of history of this. And now I think they're smart enough to know to leave us alone.
Ape Canyon, allegedly one got shot and fell off a cliff.
Yeah, so they shot one too. Were they miners or loggers?
They were prospectors.
Prospectors.
Yeah.
Oh, prospectors.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But that one, from what I could find, the media covered it for a time, and the Forest Service rangers investigated it, but they found no conclusive evidence. Of course, they didn't. But footprint casts 14-inch in length were alleged to have been found. Of course, people are saying that lots of the evidence or lack of evidence or whatever was said, people say it was misinterpreted and it was a hoax, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Ape Canyon, it's a big one. I mean,
Ray was saying that some of them, the attacks.
Hey, Ray. I think we met Ray at the weekend.
Did we? I don't know. We know lots of Rays.
I think got his book to read.
Yeah, ruled bear, and maybe there weren't bear attacks. Maybe there were Bigfoot attacks.
I'm not convinced that they were passive. How many possible attacks were ruled bear attack or accidental death?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that could easily happen too. I mean, up in Canada, people get attacked by bears fairly frequently. The grizzly bears, especially, you don't hear of it so much down here where we are anyway, because it's black bears. But the grizzlies do attack people.
So the only The only thing I would question, if they're attacked by a grizzly, number one, if they survive, they can tell you it was a bear. So if they survive it, they can tell you what it was. If they don't survive it, you would see bite marks and claw marks. Yeah, Bigfoot could bite them as well. Um, but Bigfoots typically have squared off teeth. They don't have canines
They have
typically.
teeth like ours.
Right. Bigfoots are described having wide, flat teeth, not canines, and they don't have claws. All the reports that we've taken, they don't have long fingernails or claws. So you wouldn't see those scratch marks or bite marks that would be indicative of a bear. So, but I will tell you, there's a story in Kentucky, and I won't get into it too much, where a lady was attacked at night. I think I talked about it on the government cover-up show, and by a large animal. They wouldn't say what it was. She's taken to a hospital, and long story, all the neighbors knew about it, and then come the following week, the sheriff department said it was a meth bust. So they covered it up. There was men in black SUVs. It was a whole government cover up. It's in that episode of her being attacked by a large animal. We don't know what it was. And then the men in black came in supposedly and covered it up.
And it's so easy to do.
Yeah.
I knew it was you, Ray. Good to see you here. Where was I? So Dave Rogers, the record of Daniel Boone and his son is of a Bigfoot who attacked his son, and Daniel Boone himself killed it.
Yeah. That's a historic. Just talked about that. Yeah.
Pat, hello, Charlie Raymond.
Hello, Pat.
Hello, Pat.
So the other one too, I just forgot to mention, was on Fort Knox, where they killed 4 Bigfoot. So in that case where they killed the 4 Bigfoot, the young one got away. The mother was holding a young black-haired Bigfoot in her arms, and when she was shot, it jumped down and ran off over Fort Knox area. Well, that young one, think about it. He's not going to want anything to do with people now. If he's an adult Bigfoot now, this happened in the was it late 70s, early 80s. So
there's a reason why they stay away from us.
Right. I think they know we kill things. We've shot them before.
Frank, I'd imagine if they did report it as a Bigfoot, especially outside of the Bigfoot world, they'd say it was a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bodies get examined by a medical examiner, but I mean, again, they're part of the system too. Like if information is decided to be withheld, we're never going to hear about it, and they're going to say it was consistent with a bear attack. So
it happens a lot too. I've got cases of this where Bigfoots have been misidentified as bear sightings. I'm just talking about sightings. Oh, I saw that bear. Yeah, and oh yeah, he was walking on 2 legs, and bears don't walk very far on 2 legs. But, all the town folk, oh, yeah, it was a bear. And he was walking on 2 legs. So Bigfoots get a bad rap, or bears get a bad rap. They get misidentified a lot.
Matt, grizzly bear attack survivors tell of their effortless, immense strength. I would believe a Bigfoot power would be the same. Mm-hmm. Dismemberment is probably a certainty. Yeah, I'm sure that
Well, chimpanzee.
It'd be like ripping up a chicken, wouldn't it?
There's stories of people that have had pet chimpanzees, and the chimp has killed its owner or
torn their face off,
ripped their face off,
limbs off. Yeah, and that's a chimp.
And you think how strong a chimpanzee is. So then you step up to a silverback gorilla, or then you step up to a Bigfoot. The strength, they could easily rip your arm off.
Yeah. All right. So I was only able to find a couple more. There's a report out in Sister Lakes in Michigan back in 1965. Mrs. George Owens and her daughter claimed a 7-foot creature attacked their car. The creature allegedly grabbed Christine Van Acker's head and slammed it into the car, knocking her unconscious. They described it as 400 pounds with hair like quills. So maybe a juvie. Both took lie detector tests and one of them passed, but one of them also failed. Again, the police dismissed it as a hoax, but the stories continued. So there's another one, you know.
So Brother Littlefoot's talking about Pender County. That's in North Carolina, I think he says. In North Carolina, there's a 911 cryptid call, and the sheriff did an interview about it. It wasn't a Bigfoot or dogman. So what was it? Was it a bear? But it says cryptid call. So if it's a cryptid call,
what they got down in?
I don't know. What do they got going on down there?
Yeah.
If it wasn't a Bigfoot or wasn't a dogman.
Lizard man.
Yeah, lizard man. Somebody gave us a book this weekend. I didn't look at it. Who gave us that book? It said Bigfoot is a lizard man.
It might have been Ray's. We've got a couple of books of Ray to read.
Oh, Ray, I think I got your book then. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just saw that today. I was in the putting stuff away, and there are 2 books. So,
yes.
Thank you, Ray, if you gave us those books. I appreciate it.
We traded. Gallia County in Ohio in 1869. There was a reported wild man attack on a carriage. Like, this is going back so far. 1869. The creature allegedly grabbed a father, knocked him down, attempted to bite and scratch him. The daughter threw a rock at it, driving the creature away. Again, it's stated as folklore, but there's multiple stories to the same effect. So there's another one. But I mean, you hear about attacks, like, but there's a lot of non-credible ones. I think.
Gary, I'm interested. Can you say, did you have a sighting, or were you attacked, Gary? Can you put in the chat, did you just have a sighting, or were you attacked? You don't have to go into details. But we do want to talk about, if you ever want to share your story, Gary, we would be honored to be the ones to document it, just to let you know. But if you in chat, Gary, let us know, was it just a sighting, or did one harm you or come after you? Wayne talks about the Albert Ostman. Yeah, Albert Ostman was picked up in his sleeping bag, taken back to a cave. But in that case, he was never really injured. They could have, but he wasn't harmed. He was able to get away. But yeah, that would be scary, to be picked up in your sleeping bag, taken to a cave for a few days.
What was that one that Ray said? Go up.
Oh, Ray.
Go back up.
I need to get to Gary there. Gary, let us know. Ray.
Speaking of historical accounts, a guy in the past says he's seen a Bigfoot and people believe it. Modern man says he's seen it and his credibility is then questioned. Why is that? If Daniel Boone was alive today, he would question his story with vicious scrutiny. Yeah, I know, it's quite right. I mean, I think fortunately now, Ray, that interviews are now videoed. I think that helps us a lot, because you get to see the character, you get to see the witness, and you get to see the emotion, and you get to see them remember the events as they describe them to you. And I think that helps a lot. It provides you with discernment. You can look at somebody and you can tell instantly that they're reliving an event and they're telling you the truth. When it comes to listening to a narrator reading a story, you can make your own determination one way or another. You can say, no, it's too far out there, I don't believe it. Or you can say, yeah, totally.
But the other thing is, what he's talking about here is the reason why I think now people criticize a lot of witnesses now is because of social media.
There's so many.
There's people want the attention now. They want the likes, subscribers. They do it for money now. They want to be on TV now. So Bigfoot is, popular now with the TV shows and social media. So some of them make up stories. So I think that's
Even
why.
the TV shows make up stories. Let's be honest.
Right. So
like even the made-for-TV documentary, we're out here looking for Bigfoot and it's real scary. Like,
well, see, too,
we've all been there and it's not that scary.
The other thing is too, now people can talk about it more freely, and it's more acceptable kind of now in a way. But way back then, way back before social media, people reported it to newspapers and such, or you had a lot to risk going forward with it. Again, so you tend to think there must be something to that, because why would this farmer tell this story and the newspaper pick it up about seeing a Bigfoot? He has nothing to gain doing that. Like nowadays, people do it for attention. Find Gary there.
This one.
I know, isn't she? Thank you, Big.
Sorry, had to, because I know you've all seen it.
Go to Gary, because Gary asked Gary a question,
hold
please.
Hold on one sec. Brother Littlefoot, rake maybe. When we were talking about, what was it?
The North Carolina 911, a cryptid, a rake, yeah.
Yeah.
Go to Gary real quick, because I asked him a question there. Not a sighting, no, up higher.
Not a sighting. I had a rock thrown at me. I told you about it at the poker table, lol.
Oh, I was too busy playing poker. I'm trying to remember. Was that at Billy Townsend's house recently, Gary? Was that recently? I have a bad memory.
Don't take it personally. He's awful at remembering.
Was on Verdon Ridge Lake Army Road.
It's clickbait title. They are both the same creatures. Glimmer Man. Book is about my first book experience. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, good. We'll get to
go back to Gary.
It's been a crazy
Go to
week.
Gary again. Sorry, Gary. Verdon Ridge Lake, Naomi Road. Gary, I'm so sorry. Was this in Kentucky? I don't know where that is. Is that in Kentucky, Gary?
Sasquatch Chronicles episode 413 tells a story about a Sasquatch throwing a log on a man in a boat, badly injuring him. Okay, interesting. I love Sasquatch Chronicles. I'll never forget that British woman that saw them on the beach. Like, that story's phenomenal. She tells it so well. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Those of you that listen to Sasquatch Chronicles.
Clay City.
Brilliant.
Go to Gary again, please.
Clay City.
Yeah. Sorry, Gary. That's yeah. Yeah, we talked about that because we owned the Clay City Inn for a while. Hit me in the next one. Wow, that's pretty scary for that to happen. When was that, Gary? What year again, Gary? Will you put that in the chat?
Michael, hey Michael, good to have you with us. There was a solo hiker attacked and killed during our fall 2024 expedition, not part of our group. At the time, a member of our group was high enough up on the mountain to have a signal and was watching reports. By the time our expedition was over, it had been scrubbed from the internet in the East Tennessee area.
What?
Wow.
Wait, I'm confused. So this is last year on an expedition, on a Bigfoot expedition, I guess.
Would that have been Lori Wade's then in Tennessee?
Yeah, was that Lori Wade? Because she does the BFROs, but not part of your group. A hiker was attacked and killed.
Yeah.
By a bear, Michael, or they think a Bigfoot. And was that Lori Wade's expedition?
They scrubbed it from the internet.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, Gary said yes.
Brother Littlefoot, they throw acorns and little stuff at me all the time. I spend more time with them than I do us. A lot of what happens is based in miscommunication.
Yeah, I think you're right, brother. If you respect them, and sometimes they throw the little things just to play with you, get your attention. Maybe they don't try to hurt you. Um, so
You guys need a telephone conversation so you can catch up, because Gary's telling you he told you this very recently.
you know how many people tell me stories, Lindsay?
I know.
I mean, I hear stories daily. Sorry, and I'm sorry, Gary. I don't mean. But yeah,
If he
that's
saw your face, he would know.
well, Gary. Hopefully, I'll be back to poker soon. I've been busy the last month. Hopefully, you'll be back there, Gary, and we can talk more.
Matt, Maria Mayer said to show complete submission if being charged by Bigfoot, as one should to the gorillas. I pray she's right.
Yeah, I agree. Any animal doesn't. I mean, if you're being well, no. What some animals you're supposed to act bigger, stand your ground.
Turkeys.
Well, yeah, turkeys you stand up to. But I mean, would you I don't know. What's the story with the bear? With a bear, do you play dead? Does it depend, or do you act big, stand tall, or do you don't run? I know most of the time you don't run from anything.
You very slowly walk backwards, I think.
Yeah, slowly walk backwards. But yeah,
Don't
Bigfoot.
freak it out.
I agree, Matt. If you show your hands, your hands, they're empty. Maybe look down. Don't look them in the eye. Look down. Be submissive. Show the hands. Talk softly. I guess with most intelligent animals, a mountain lion, though, I don't think I would do that. What do you do with a mountain lion? I know you don't run. Slowly back away.
I think the same. Yeah, I think the same.
I don't know. Hopefully, we don't encounter a mountain lion.
Carry bear bells.
Dave
Rogers. I had my first encounter in 1974 75 as a 12-year-old kid, scared the crap out of me at the age of 12, going until taking a deep dive into the Bigfoot thing. In 2024, I experienced a bluff charge. I had a 7.2 pin to my plate carrier. I'm not sure what that means. I knew it wouldn't be big enough if I had to use it. Fortunately, I didn't have to use it now. I'm never going into the woods unless I go heavy. 458 Solcon is my choice now.
These are all gun terminology. Right. Bigger gun is what he means. Carry a big gun.
Go packing unprepared.
I never, which is bad. We never carry guns. We should. But again, I'm not afraid of a Bigfoot. Honestly, I don't think a Bigfoot's going to attack us.
I think you're less likely to have an encounter with a gun. I think they can smell the GSR.
GSR?
The gunshot residue.
Ooh, that's a new term. I just learned. GSR.
Yeah, GSR.
GSR. You guys, new term, GSR. Gunshot residue.
Angela. Gary, I grew up on Verdon Ridge in Clay City, Kentucky. There is definitely something up there. This was over 40 years ago when I was a kid, but that's where I first knew there was something else.
Wow.
There. That's interesting.
Small world. I mean, I know Angela's from the area, but I didn't realize Angela grew up back there. That's cool. And Gary, that's where Gary had a rock thrown at him. Pretty awesome. And Gary said his was around 2017, 18. So that's not long ago. Well, Gary and Angela, we're going to have a road trip. We're going to have to go squatching.
Yeah. How close is that to where the guy in Stanton saw the Bigfoot eating a horse?
That was on Furnace Mountain.
Furnace Mountain. How close is that?
Yeah. How close is that ridge, Angela or Gary, to Furnace Mountain?
And then there was a woman that looked out of a bedroom window in Stanton, and she saw one going through a trash can.
Right. We have 2 Bigfoot sightings on Furnace Mountain.
Was that Furnace Mountain too?
Yeah, they both were on Furnace Mountain. So I'm curious where that is.
Right. Michael, correct. The attack was about 4 miles from us as the crow flies.
The attack.
He's talking about in East Tennessee on the expedition.
So, Michael, I wish we could just talk. Michael, do they think it was a Bigfoot or a bear? Like you were there. What's the inside scoop on that?
Angela, I felt something watching me, walked with me around the ridge to my aunt's house. I never felt afraid though. Interesting.
No wonder why you're addicted, Angela. I didn't realize you had that experience up there.
Brother Littlefoot, children play all of the time. Once their family trusts you, it's a major honor, really. They eventually treat you like an outside family member or peer.
Yeah. I think this is true, like Ron Bowles said earlier, and a lot of us know, treat them with respect. They'll treat us with respect. And if you go to certain areas over and over again, try to build that trust up. And again, I don't think they're going to try to hurt you typically.
Good question, Nick. What do y'all think killed that family that was camping at LBL back in the 70s?
Well, they said 2 dogmen. But again, that whole beast of LBL, there are no medical records. There are no police reports. There are no death certificates. So did the government cover all that up? Maybe. Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, that's always going to be a possibility. And there was also wasn't there a couple of sisters murdered too? A serial killer around about that same time in the area as well. Like there was lots of stuff going on at that time back then in LBL.
So Angela, 2 miles from the motel we owned. That's funny. It's right back there. What's also cool, Angela, if you go down Winchester Road, all the way to where Lubbergrud Creek is. Lubbergrud Creek is right off of Winchester Road, or Winchester Road crosses Lubbergrud Creek, and that's where Daniel Boone supposedly killed the Yahoo. And that's a whole nother story, but from my research, that's where that happened. When we owned that motel, this is really neat. We had a Bigfoot cutout out front for a while. We would sell them. A guy came in, wanted to buy the Bigfoot cutout. And of course, I want to know why. And when he was a young boy, played hide and seek, late one night, he was hiding in a bush, and a Bigfoot ran right by him. Big, hairy legs. He can see from the moonlight. It wasn't his friends. And of course, the boy was scared, scared still. He wouldn't move. And then finally, he ran to his friends. But he saw that like some 45 years ago down on Lubgrud Creek, which just happens to be where Daniel Boone killed the Yahoo, I think, 200 years ago. So they're in the same area. They stay there. They might still be there now, Gary and Angela. So we need to do a little Bigfoot
we could easily put something together.
Investigation out there.
Yeah. We could easily do that. Now that, well, after November, when it starts quietening down a little bit for us.
Yeah.
Matt, fight a mountain lion, stand tall to a black bear, play dead to a grizzly, and say your last prayer to a Bigfoot attack. Just saying.
I need to write that down because I'm going to screw those up. I think I'm going to play dead for all of them because I'm going to forget what to do. Do I do this or do this?
Gary, you guys will have to carry the guns. I'm a felon. It's on the other side of the county Furnace Mountain.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Oh, right. I hunted the LBL and came up empty-handed, but it was beautiful out there.
Yeah. It's a great place.
Yeah, Nick, definitely a government cover-up. Yeah, I think so. They cover up everything. Michael, the member of our group who was getting reports said that it came in on a 911 call from that hiker who was obviously running while speaking, said he was being paced by a creature. And then he died.
So a member of your group was getting reports, which, okay, so my understanding is he had a radio, I guess, and was getting police reports somehow. Um, so was this, I guess, the member of your group was some kind of a law enforcement, and he had some kind of radio connection to pick up this call and listen to this guy running, and something was chasing him. Wow,
I don't know.
that's
That's an
scary.
interesting story, though.
That's crazy.
Where is LBL? Rusty said it's western. Is it southwestern Kentucky?
It's just southern Kentucky. It's all the way at the bottom between Tennessee and Kentucky.
Yeah, but you go really far west.
It's the center, all the way across the center, kind of, sort of. But yeah, LBL is a creepy area.
I'll offer Charlie a nice whiskey. Hopefully that'll do it. Oh, missed that bit of the conversation.
Yeah,
what are you lot talking about? I didn't see that. Trisha Collins. I just had a terrifying experience at Mount Pleasant Cemetery in LBL. Also have several pictures of prints I found. We would love to see them, Trisha.
Can you share anything in there? I wonder. I guess you can't share the pictures in the chat, can you? Put my phone number in there. Hey, Trisha, I'm going to give you my cell number. Lindsay is. It's not typing. You're not typing. Trisha, we're going to give you my cell number. Number cap is on. So.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. We would like to see the prints. If you can, send them to us. Yeah, LBL's creepy. A lot of Bigfoot sightings there.
Shut up, Michael. Said to have been found with one arm ripped off and a chunk out of his side. Get out. How have we not heard about this? You're going to have to call Laurie. Was it Laurie's expedition?
Laurie Wade? Was it Laurie Wade's?
We're going to see you in a few weeks, aren't we? We're going to have to hear all about it.
Is this Michael coming on our expedition?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's you, right, Michael? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. We have a few Michaels coming. Wow, that's scary. I wonder what it was.
Also going to shout myself out on here, man. Over 4 years sober now. Let's go. Let's go. In the chat.
Good. I'm glad you're sober. Good job, Gary.
Congratulations. We'll shout out to that. I'm a little bit behind on the comments. Sorry.
We'll take a couple more and we'll wrap this up. I need to go over too before we wrap this up. I didn't share the upcoming events. I just kind of talked about.
Rusty, Land Between the Lakes. Yes, it is
LBL.
Land Between the Lakes. It's got very rich history. It's a flooded, would you say, lake town? They flooded the town, and lots of dogman activity out there, as well as Bigfoot sightings. Michael, I have to ask him the source of his reports. I had a good enough. He had good enough service to have internet at his location, I believe. Nice. Trisha, I'm also a researcher from Monsters Unleashed.
Cool. Oh, cool. Monsters Unleashed, are you guys based in Kentucky or Tennessee? Or somewhere else, Trisha?
Large caliber guns should always be carried in the woods, no matter what animal may come our way. We are in that element. I don't leave home without it. You just never really know. Yeah, I know. If you're out there in the woods and your intention is to protect yourself, I think if you're out there and your intention is to see a Bigfoot, I think carrying a gun might harm your encounter if your intention is to see one, because I think they'd be less likely to come up. But I could be wrong. What do I know?
You know a lot, baby. All right. So before we conclude, I want to share this one more last time because I never did finish this. My book launch this weekend has been postponed. The book will come out soon. I'll let you know. The Public Monster Festival next weekend. It's free. tons of things for families, kids, all kinds of fun stuff. The expedition coming up, that's full, unfortunately. There's a one that you can go to, Beattyville, Kentucky, in Lee County. There's been a lot of Bigfoot sightings. The Bigfoot Boone Forest Campout. You camp 2 nights. I forget what the charge is. They have live music. I will be taking people on a Bigfoot hunt. If you would like to go on a Bigfoot hunt, this is great for beginners. It's a great weekend. Bigfoot Boone Forest Campout. You can look.
Bigfoot sighting, recent one just around the corner too.
They just had a Bigfoot sighting on their property. So, and I've got documented reports.
Well, it's close to their property.
It was on their property.
They own that bit of land?
Yes, they own it, where we got all the chiggers.
Oh.
But anyway, so that's still open. Google this or go to Facebook and find this Bigfoot Boone Forest Campout. I think there's still spots available if you're a beginner and want to go out on a Bigfoot hunt. Crypticon, massive. Google it. Dozens of speakers. It's becoming one of the largest Crypticons or Bigfoot conferences in the country, actually. Next year, the Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival is May 30th. Circle that date. We already have Lyle Blackburn announced. More announcements coming. It's going to be bigger than last year. We'll be back at Carter County. They're doing it again. I put set. It's September 11th. September 11th. And then just tonight, we got a confirmation. We will be at another Bigfoot Fest in Owensboro, September 26th. These things are popping up everywhere, but they're a lot of fun if you've never been to one. And that rhymed. So we want to thank everybody for coming. Any last things? Oh, Dr. Jane Goodall, yeah. We lost another great one. She supported Bigfoot. I mean, if you Googled her and Bigfoot, she was open-minded, and I don't think she ever said she 100% believed, but she hinted that she does believe in a roundabout way. She supported the Bigfoot and Bigfoot research. And we lost Dr. Jane Goodall this week.
It's been a tough week. It's been a tough night for me to get through tonight. I know I've lacked concentration, so
yeah,
thanks for sticking with me. May God bless us all. Thanks again, KBRO, for all you do. Yes, hug your friends and family and loved ones a little bit closer tonight, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys. Hey, Mike mentioned something here. We forgot to recognize. Hey, Mike, I think you're new on the show here, and yeah, we learn a lot. I mean, the more we do this, we're learning more and more about these creatures. So we do know they have a language. If you listen to Scott Nelson, his research on the samurai chatter, the Sierra sounds, Scott Nelson, look him up regarding Bigfoot language. So yeah, show them respect when you're in the area, and hopefully they will show you respect.
If you don't mind, guys, if you could all hit that like button, it really does help us out. We love joining you every week, especially when we see regular familiar faces coming back week after week. It's an absolute pleasure, but the like button really does help us out.
And thank you guys for your support. Next week, we'll see. Maybe we'll have another exciting topic, or maybe we'll have a guest. Who knows?
Thank you, Wayne. All right, we are done. So thanks again, everybody. You have to lift it higher.
I can see. All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Sleep well, and we will see you next week. Take care.